If you're like me, you get sucked into those house flipping shows. You watch it a little bit and even think, I could do that, right? So, I mean, what could be so hard? You find a fixer-upper, you put in a little sweat equity, and boom, sell it for profit, right? Sounds easy. Well, our next guest, real estate investor and former NFL player, Merrill, says, not so fast. Good morning, Than.
Good morning, Courtney. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, so you've bought and sold hundreds of properties. What should we know about flipping before we dive right in?
You know, it's a great question. A lot of people will watch a 30-minute or hour-long episode and say, gosh, that looks easy. That's for me. And I always tell people there's a lot of things that you don't necessarily see on TV. There's months worth of preparation that they condense down to actually make an episode. And one of the most important things is to realize you really make your money as a real estate investor when you buy the project and before the project even begins. On the show, they just show the rehab or the construction part of the project, but they don't actually show what might not be as sexy, but it's as important, which is analyzing the numbers, doing your due diligence, appraising the property, and lining up the money to actually fund the deal. And those are all critical steps to being successful.
So where can we go to learn that kind of thing? Like, how do we know what to look for and what numbers to crunch and how to crunch them?
You know, one of the first things that I did years ago is I went and took a real estate appraisal class. It wasn't the most exciting class in the world, but it really did help me understand how to value properties correctly. And that's such a critical component because if you buy the property incorrectly, it doesn't matter how effectively you manage the construction or how good your contractors are, you're going to be working your way out of a hole. And so that's one of the most critical areas that I think new investors should focus on when they're getting started.
Do you need a background in construction or business, or can anybody do this?
You know, it definitely helps, but it's not absolutely necessary. I think the most important thing is don't just jump in and buy a property and try to learn on the job site. You want to spend 3, 6, 9 months really studying the business, understanding the mechanics of how real estate transactions work. You want to look at your market, and then you want to look for a business model that you can then apply to the market to have long-term success. So getting an education and having good systems before you get started is really important for any new investors out there.
It sounds like a lot of work. I mean, a lot of people think this could be a fun hobby, but I mean, really it's a full-time job if you're going to do it right.
You know, it is. It can be done as a hobby if you really spend a lot of time educating yourself. But real estate investing, because of the amount of risk associated with the sector, it's important to understand you really want to approach it as a career. And if you're looking to get into it, it's something that I think you want to spend a lot of time before you just jump in, making that decision, making sure it's right for you.
All right, we just kicked off a new NFL season. I am so pumped about it. And as a former player, did you learn anything during your time in the NFL that has kind of helped you in business or toughened you up for a construction site?
You know, I definitely did. In the NFL, it stands for not for long. And so you really have to show up every day prepared. And it's no different in business. In business, you don't have a day off necessarily. If you run your own business, you're working a lot of times 7 days a week. I absolutely love it. I love the process. I love everything about it. But that really helped prepare me, is because if you weren't on your A game every day, you weren't going to be around for very long.
That's right. You're going to get crunched, and now you're just crunching the numbers. So I love the play on words there. So thank you so much for joining us. Is there any website or something we can go to find out more information?
Yeah, definitely. For viewers who want to learn more about investing in real estate, visit my website, thanmerrill.com. I have some great information for investors who are looking to get started.
All right, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. If you missed anything, of course, you can go to our website as well, fox4morningblend.com. All right, ladies, listen up. There's female-friendly football frocks on the way. Just wait until you see some of the glam options. That's next.
The Morning Blend is brought to you in part by Lazy Days RV, Florida's #1 RV dealer in all classes. See the incredible selections at lazydays.com.